At Unilever, our ambition is to make sustainable living commonplace. We are committed to sustainably sourcing all of our palm oil, and we are actively deploying technologies that we believe could end deforestation by radically transforming supply chain transparency. In a first-of-its-kind pilot, we're using geolocation monitoring through mobile phone network data to identify the individual farms and plantations supplying the third-party mills in our palm oil supply chain. The pilot takes place at Unilever's Oleochemical facility, registering anonymized mobile pings, the dots in blue. Starting out with a relatively disorganized data blur, we are rapidly able to organize that data into intelligent point-to-point movements. The palm oil mills are neatly overlaid into the map, and we start to introduce point-to-point lines, moving to a three-dimensional field of view to explore the data. Now, we start to add the broader data set of movements to and from mills, and you start to see the depth of information we can build and the instantaneous nature of the supply chain discovery. This is fast to refresh once the heavy data science lifting is finalized, and we have scalable algorithms. We can follow the data to learn more about upstream sources, going from our direct suppliers to their direct suppliers. And we gain a data-driven line of sight to crop origin, even with long and complex commodity supply chains. Armed with these location tracks, we use data to predict where an individual mill is likeliest to be sourcing from. This allows us to gain insights on sourcing patterns to palm plantations at scale using data science. This is what a predicted sourcing pattern looks like, using the latest in data and scalable technologies. After establishing a data-driven link to palm plantations, we use technology and satellite data to monitor those plantations across the entire supply chain. Here, we are visualizing plantation concessions across Southeast Asia. From there on, we evaluate the primary risks and impacts associated with palm across the entire supply base. We are looking at satellite data feeds covering recent fires in red, deforestation and conversion on peat soils in blue, and forest near protected areas and national parks in green. This data is real-time and scalable. We have enhanced the use of satellite technology with the use of the latest radar detection, which allows for much faster detection of deforestation and land conversion. Unilever is looking at how we can scale this globally and across commodities. Smallholder farmers play an important part in the palm oil supply chain. Knowing where smallholders are is a problem. Here we are deploying an algorithm in real time, but instead of forests, it is using satellite data to predict where the smallholders are, clustering them into groups and networking these farmers together into communities. Here, we are exploring a collaboration with social networks and leveraging platforms widely used by smallholders by making it easy for them to organize and communicate with each other. We can then apply technology to drive investments and programs in conservation and restoration in smallholder catchment areas where we can have a high impact on carbon conservation and biodiversity. Here, we are seeing an algorithm running in real time that analyzes Indonesian rainforests by isolating patches and classifying them based on their size. It then networks the most important large patches with medium-sized patches into corridors that maximize the amount of carbon that stays in the forest and protects the largest number of plant and animal species. This is applicable to smallholders and large-scale plantation areas, and because it uses digital technology to make sense of satellite big data, it can be rapidly scaled across the entire supply chain. This is just one part of our plan to build a comprehensive digital ecosystem to help the wider industry end deforestation. By collaborating with technology partners, we will enable greater transparency, improve smallholder livelihoods, and make sustainable living commonplace.